Welcome to another episode of AI Weekly Breakthroughs, show where we cover all the key happenings from the AI world. And as promised last week, this week was very busy as well. What I want to start with today is key takeaways from a survey, from a report done by the Reuters Institute and the University of Oxford titled, "What Does the Public in 6 Countries Think of Generative AI in News?" Two authors, Dr. Richard Fletcher, Director of Research at Reuters Institute, and Professor Rasmus Kleis-Nielsen, Professor of Political Communication at Oxford. So it was an online survey, people from 6 countries, Denmark, Argentina, France, UK, Japan, and the US, over 2,000 participants from each country. And usually we report on more enterprise-focused surveys, but this is a good one to give a better understanding. How does general public interact with AI? What is their perception? Here are the key takeaways. Number one, proportion that have heard of each GenAI tool, some of them on the list. And as expected, ChatGPT is really dominating the field. So over half in all of those countries, except for Argentina, have heard of ChatGPT, whereas other apps are quite significantly behind. Second, how frequently people use ChatGPT. Daily users, only a few percent, US leading the way with 7%, but then as we look at weekly users, it gets up to 20 combined with daily users. And if we look at the age groups, the youngest age group, 18 to 24, is dominating. Here again, this is not really a representative sample as it is an online survey. Next one, proportion that say that they have used GenAI in each context here being either private life or at work and school. And interesting to see here is both of those contexts are somewhat equally represented, right? So personal use and work use. And here we can look at some of the tasks. So most frequently done tasks, or the tasks that users use ChatGPT for. We have 2 main groups for getting information and for creating media, and then some of the tasks within answering factual questions, asking advice, generating ideas, and then on the other end, playing around, experimenting, writing emails, letters, making an image, writing an essay, so more creative work. Those are the main tasks people use ChatGPT for. And here is the impact. So from the tech world, we see this understanding or let's say prediction, it's going to have a massive impact on pretty much all sectors. And this is reflected also in the general public, right? So we see proportion that think GenAI will have a large impact upon each. And here are some of the categories: social media at the top, search engine companies, scientists, and then at the bottom, retailers, ordinary people, and law enforcement. But even at the bottom, it's close to 50%. So even the general public believes or expects that this is going to have a huge impact on all of us pretty much. And in proportion that they say that they trusted GenAI outputs for each task. Now, this is interesting, and I will refer back to this towards the end of the AI Weekly Breakthroughs, is the majority of people trust GenAI outputs, right? So strongly trust, or someone trusts even for tasks such as answering factual questions, trust is pretty high. And now trust and hallucinations don't go well together. And again, I will get back to this towards the end. Now let's go to Microsoft Build announcements. Not as many as Google I/O, but still pretty powerful. The first one, and arguably the biggest one, is Copilot PC announced. And it is a PC designed specifically for AI. What does this mean? It has a neural processing unit. On top of a CPU and a GPU, it has a neural processing unit, which is designed specifically to handle AI workloads, to handle AI tasks. Now, Copilot PC is connected to LLMs running in Azure Cloud, but it can also run smaller language models locally because of that neural processing units. And it's better across the board for Microsoft. Fastest implementation of Office apps is supposedly better than Apple. This is what Microsoft says. Next one, pretty big one, Recall. So it's a functionality for Copilot Plus, and it allows you to search through your history. So actions that you have performed on your PC are now logged and you can search through them. So this is something similar to the Rewind app for Apple. Now, how does this work? It takes a snapshot of your screen, of your actions every 5 seconds if those have changed. And then it makes those snapshots searchable. So using natural language, you can then query this history. And let's say you forgot what you were looking at the previous week. Maybe it was a restaurant. Now you can search through that in Recall. Now, obviously, safety is a consideration here. You can select which apps or website Recall should not include. So let's say banking or something. And here is a screenshot of how this looks like. So let's say last week you were searching for a restaurant. You have now forgotten what the name was. You can go back to that point when you were looking for that restaurant, and Recall will surface that for you. And here is how the timeline looks like. So let's say you don't remember what you were looking for, but you remember last week on Wednesday, I was looking at something, I was listening to a really cool video. I don't remember what the title was. You can go back to that exact time in the history or recall and look at that moment again. Next one, image creator in Paint. Paint is still around, and they are now bringing AI supported image generation or image creation. This is powered by the DALL-E model from OpenAI, and DALL-E here serves as a collaborator, so you can give it instructions, describe what you would like to create, a little cute pirate running, colorful digital, ultra detailed blue gradient background, and this is what DALL-E will produce. So this is GenAI features coming to Paint. And then this is most interesting for developers, upgrades to Azure AI Studio and the Copilot Studio. And what they're bringing is Copilot agents. So agents, GenAI powered entity solutions, which can complete more complex tasks. What they're doing here within Copilot Studio is you can create AI bots that can automatically orchestrate and perform a given task. And how you do that is you define the task, you provide AI with the necessary knowledge sources, actions it can perform, and then the Copilot Studio will orchestrate the entire workflow and automate this task for you. And if it gets stuck as it's performing the task, it will ping you, it will ask you, please give me instructions on how to continue. And this is how this looks like. So here are the knowledge sources, so you can connect it to your enterprise knowledge sources, you can give it access to websites. So these agents are pretty powerful. And then a few more from Microsoft, which were pretty big. New 5.3 vision model added to the 5.3 small language models family. Real-time video translation and dubbing in Edge, meaning if you're looking at a video in English, the presenter is given information in English that can be dubbed in real time to, let's say, Spanish. AI-powered copy and paste. This allows you to, as you're copying something, you can change the format to, let's say, JSON, or you can change the language before you paste over. And then Microsoft Copilot coming for Teams. And it can, what this Copilot can do, it can handle some of the administrative tasks, such as taking notes or key highlights of the meeting, summarizing the meeting. This is what it can do for you. And then last thing for today, just updates from the major players in the domain. Google AI overviews issue. So this is generative AI functionalities coming to search. It is now in people's hands. It's not going that well, producing hallucinated responses, producing potentially harmful responses. And here I want to refer back to that trust. People are trusting those answers. So what is of paramount importance here is safety, making sure that AI is using high quality data, high quality information for producing answers. This is crucial for builders of AI applications to keep in mind. And thinking of safety, perhaps not a top consideration for OpenAI, at least Jan Laika supposedly left because of this reason, and he now joined Anthropic. So this is the perhaps the main competitor of OpenAI. Elon Musk's XAI raises $6 billion at 18 billion valuation. This was something reported a few months ago. They now successfully closed this, so it's another huge player in the field. And then last one for today, Meta showcases Chameleon, a text to image and image to text model. So this is multimodality, is something Meta has not really been going for, but now they have also introduced a multimodal model called Chameleon. And this is it for today. Until next week, thank you.